Have you ever held onto something, a situation, a person, a job? Even deep down, you knew you had to let it go, but you were afraid because honestly, letting someone go, letting a situation go, or removing yourself from that can be hurtful, can be painful. And sometimes we are not used to it. Most of the times we've been conditioned that we always have to be nice to others. We always have to give ourselves to other people, to other situations, and do our best no matter what or what cost it comes to us. While it's really good to be nice to people and be kind and respectful, that does not mean you have to stay in situations, places, or jobs that are not aligned to who you are anymore. And how would you start feeling or knowing these things? Well, perhaps let's say it can be friendships, relationships, jobs, or even a place that you live that is doesn't fully align with you or who you are or who you want to be anymore. Well, our intuition or feelings or gut feeling is usually going to give us warnings, signs, and things that we're going to start experiencing that perhaps we start thinking, okay, I can't tell exactly why, but this situation, this place, this person does not fully align with me anymore, with my energy, with who I am, or who I want to be. And in those situations, what happens is like if it's with people, for example, we start perhaps meeting up people less or start distancing ourselves with that specific person of people because when we might meet them, we don't feel like the way we used to feel. Perhaps the energy is not aligned, and perhaps this doesn't mean anything bad about them or about you. Sometimes we choose different paths. We all have a different evolution, a different time for healing, to move forward, or to the path we came to this life to experience. And again, just because another person hurts you, does something, or perhaps you're just not aligned with that person, does not mean they are good or bad. It means that perhaps your time it has come to an end, and you can just be grateful for the time you've experienced with that person. Because instead of just focusing on the bad, oh, I have to let this person go, I have to let this situation go, and I don't know what I'm going to do now next, or how am I going to find a new partner, new friendships, or new job. Well, things happen because they're also meant to happen for your growth. And sometimes we have to go through those isolation time periods or those times where we have to let go of these that no longer serves us or no longer makes a purpose in our current life. You never know with people, for example, if in the future you might reconnect, your energies might align again, you might be in similar paths again, and you might want to reconnect. You never know that. So it's never like a full ending, but sometimes it is. And it doesn't truly matter because what it matters is how you move past it, how you can let go of that person or situation without resentment, without hate. Trying, of course, because I know when someone hurts us, we carry anger, we carry resentment, and we need to do a process of healing as well to let that pain go. Because what happens with this is the more you hold into resentment, hate, or hurt towards that person that might have hurt you, or even a job or a boss that has mistreated you, the only person that is being affected when you carry all of that with you is just you. The other person is not being affected just because you're hurt, resented, or you hate them. You carry that and usually manifest in your body or in other areas of your life. You might repeat patterns again, meet similar people to be able to let go completely, to stand up for yourself, to learn how to say no, or how to grow and move past that. So I feel in my personal experience, I've had to let go of a lot of things throughout my life, even since I was really, really young. Even in my teenage years, I had to let go of friendships. I had to let go of places. I had to move away as well and leave everything behind. And then I had to let go of the same relationships, friendships, jobs, situations. And would I say it's easy? No, it's not easy. Even to this day, in the process I am now, whenever I have to let someone or something go, it's still there's a part of me that gets sad, that gets a little bit hurt. But with more experience and with more acknowledgement that, okay, instead of why is this happening to me again? I started asking myself a few years ago, what do I need to learn from this? Or what is the learning from this situation? Because let's say we both have a part on each situation. No matter if someone hurts you and you don't do anything bad to them, or you're the one hurting someone, let's say consciously or unconsciously, at the end of the day, what matters is what are you learning from it? Because we all make mistakes as well. So from the situation, from the person, no matter who they are or what situation is, there's always a learning, even if it's the small one. And are you going to decide to carry that learning with you and perhaps not repeat the same mistake? Or are you going to continue building hate, resentment, and not letting go? Repeating the same situations and patterns again and again and again until you finally learn, because the universe is going to send you to situations, people, and places that is going to be repeated every single time. I'm going to give you a little example. Many years ago, when I started my professional experience, we started working in places. I started working in reception, in hospitality, and I had a situation with a female boss here in the country I am in, but also in Spain. I had very similar situations. And with this boss that I had in that time, she was really horrible to me in many areas, even personal comments, trying to always make sure, that I seemed that I was a bad worker. Even I was trying my best, and I was it was one of kind of my first serious job, so I didn't want to lose that job. And also, I was new in this country. I only had a year here, and my English was still improving, because when I came here, my English wasn't very good. And she would constantly try to diminish me or try to make me seem bad in front of our boss, for example, even though she was like 15 years older than me, or 20, I don't really remember. She was way older than me. And I was a young, very young girl, 20 years old. And I didn't understand why this was happening. I was really, really sad at times. It was a really struggle for me to go to work every day. And I was like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why do I have this terrible boss who's treating me so bad? Sometimes I would look at it from the victim perspective, okay? But with her, for some reason, I wasn't able to stand up for myself. I wasn't able to create boundaries. I would say sometimes my opinion, or I would try to explain, no, this is not this way. I've done this, so I don't know why you're accusing me of this. But there was a way of me that felt very insecure or very afraid to speak up, because I didn't want to lose that job. So it was kind of like my inner self was afraid of her, because if I spoke for, I was right to speak up if I was being accused of something that was not right, or even a personal comment towards my appearance. But instead of doing that, I kept letting it go. I stayed there for nearly 3 years, and it was really painful. At the end of the day, I started learning, I started letting it go. So it was not affecting me as much, but it still had a hold on me. And when I left that place, I still remember those painful experiences. And the cycle repeated again in another situation, in a completely different country, with a completely different person. Again, it was for some reason a female, so I had something to heal with the female archetype in this sense. So same situation, and this time I was the one that left that job, because I wasn't happy and I wanted to change and I wanted different experiences. And she had, let's say, the same power over me, because she really then liked how I worked, and she felt that I was really valuable. And then she didn't want me to go. And throughout that year that I was there, I started seeing those little situations, how control No personal comments, but a certain mistreating, not a really kind or nice way to treat an employee. Too personal sometimes, or too like you're just supposed to do absolutely everything no matter what. And I started standing up for myself slowly. I learned how to start a little bit communicating. Okay, sorry to say this to you, but this is not okay with me. And I'm not going to do this. This is too much for the requirements of my job, or whatever that she asked me that was out of the scope of the job position in that sense, putting pressure on me. I started slowly standing up for myself. Now, it was not easy, but I started doing it and something changed. The situation didn't end in the best way either, because I wanted to leave, and they took it very personally, which it was, I gave my notice and everything was legal. I was a year there, but still there was this sense. And I had that last conversation with her, and she tried to again attack me with certain things and tell me certain situations. And this time it hurt, but I didn't take it personally. And I said what I wanted to say. And I stand up for myself, because at the end of the day, there was an issue. They didn't want to pay certain things. I had holidays standing, and I stand up for myself. This time I didn't care. And it's not just because I wanted to leave. Throughout that year, if there was something that I felt unfair fully, obviously sometimes in jobs we know we can't express everything, because it would be hard to work with someone that is constantly putting a complication or complaining. I don't like to complain, but if something is unfair, as a right for a human being, for a working professional, you are allowed to say it too. You're allowed to express it. And in this sense, what I'm trying to explain with these two stories, once that happened to me, once I started standing up for myself more and saying, no, this is enough, and I'm not going to tolerate this, no matter who you are, no matter how much I need this job, because in the time I did need that job. And honestly, the years after, my situation with bosses and certain professional experiences changed so much. So much. Yeah, I've had some other complications or challenges. It's normal. You have to grow in the professional industry and environments, but they weren't the same as the beginning. And I wasn't tolerating or taking as I used to. And why? Then I started attracting different kind of people to work with, or different managers, bosses. And I can't say I was not a victim. It was a learning experience for me. I had to learn that, to stand up for myself, to know my boundaries, to know what I want in work and what I don't want in work. No matter if you just need a paycheck, you're a human. And sometimes we need to stand up for ourselves too, and we need to say enough is enough. Now, how long are you going to allow the situation to continue and live a life that feels miserable every time you go to work? It's so horrible. And I know so many people experience this. And I'm putting the example of the job, but this can be a relationship, this can be a friendship, this can be a business you started, or something that it's part of your life or your daily life. And sometimes we need to learn to let go with respect for ourselves, for others, but also learn what the situation is trying to teach us. Learn, okay, what do I need to learn from here? Why is this situation happening? Or especially if it keeps happening and happening and happening, why is this happening again? What is the learning that I haven't implemented in me and in my life? Let's stop pointing fingers at the other people. We all do that. So I don't judge people that do. We are human, and it's like, oh, they hurt me. They did this to me. But if we constantly focus on that, we are playing the victim. Yes, there's people out there that hurt us and might be not nice to us. But what is within your power to say no? Enough is enough, or to walk away and let go and bring in beautiful relationships, friendships, job situations. It's up to you what you bring into your life. Because the way I look at it now, even if something bad happens to me again, or challenging, which it keeps happening sometimes, and it's normal, I'm still growing and I'm still learning. And if it happens again, I have the tools now to differentiate, and I have the tools now to choose. What is it aligned for you, and what is it not aligned for you? What do you want in your life, and what you don't want in your life anymore. You have to ask yourself some questions. If you want to attract good friendships, good relationships, good job opportunities, start from within, not outside of you, because the people around you, the situations, they are just tools, experiences, things that you came here to live and to learn from. Until we don't fully learn or accept those things that we might have to heal or move forward, they're gonna keep repeating. And again, everything can be forgiven, everything can be let go if you truly want to, no matter how painful or challenging it is, it can. And then with every shadow, it comes light. And you will understand many years after, oh, I understand now why that happened. Actually, I wasn't meant to stay in that situation. I wasn't meant to have that friendship. I wasn't meant to continue in that relationship because I was not growing. I was not evolving and I wasn't truly happy. I knew deep in myself it wasn't truly for me. And again, it's not about them, it's about you. We all have a path. And we might align sometimes with certain people and we continue in a little path. And sometimes we reach to a point, a crossroad, where you might have to go right, you might have to go left. And it doesn't mean anything bad. Even if you end in a bad way with someone, always try to end with respect. Now, there's people that are not going to take it very well if you want to separate yourself from those people. And sometimes, unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. And you might have to choose silence or a way to try to end the situation the best you can. And again, I know that hurts, but that's not on you. That's on them. I imagine in years' time, they will understand, or they might never understand. So then they have their process and their learning path, but you have yours. So choose yourself. Start understanding that when you let go of someone or something, that even if it hurts, it is always for a higher purpose. It is always to bring you something even better, even more beautiful, even more aligned to who you are. And yes, sometimes it's not immediate. It has taken me many years in certain situations to attract different things. And I'm still even in the process of other areas of my life that I'm still working on them. We all have a journey. We all have a timeline. We all have a process. The only thing we can do is start trying to learn from those situations, moving forward and focus on ourselves and our well-being to try to attract and live a life that feels fully good in the inside, not just the outside. Okay? So thank you so much for watching this video and I hope you have a beautiful day.